Shane Warne gives a masterclass on leg spin bowling. All right, I'm not too sure exactly what leg spin bowling is. But I do vividly remember watching his highlights video that we did maybe a couple of months ago, and I was just so confused watching him throw the ball, or bowl the ball. Is that what you guys say? And just the way that it curved, and some of his bowls were just absolutely amazing. So I'm pumped for this one. It's coming from the channel Wide World of Sports. Smash the like button and let's dive into this one. All right, and if there's any new viewers here, please forgive me because I just learned about cricket pretty recently. It has not been that long, so I don't know that much. I have watched some of the rules, seen a couple of games, but yeah, let's hop into this one. Let's see what we got going on.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things with the grip is you have to feel comfortable with your grip, but as long as you're doing the basics right, you haven't got the ball too far in your palm like that, which, you know, if you have got it too close and too far in there, it's just about hard to get the ball to actually spin the ball. You need to have a bit of a gap in between there so you can actually get the leverage to actually spin the ball. So that's important. Grip is something, the actual pressure of your grip is something that you have to feel comfortable with. What I do, which not necessarily mean it's right, but it just...
Also, this is like one of the first times I've actually seen the ball up close. Pretty crazy. It reminds me a lot of a baseball, of course.
Thing that you have to feel comfortable with. What I do, which not necessarily mean it's right, but it just suits me. That's one of the very important point. You must do what suits yourself, but as long as you're doing the basics right. My grip, a lot of people are taught to grip it really tight and really squeeze it and spread these fingers like that. The reason I don't like that, first of all, is if you've got it tight and tense, you're tense when you come to the wicket. You're actually coming up and you've got it tight and it's all getting really hard. I like to feel relaxed. I think if I feel relaxed doing it, then I'll be able to do what I want to do down that end. So the reason being, I have a nice loose grip. My fingers are probably a bit too close together, but that works for me. And they're very loose. It's 2 fingers down, 2 fingers up, and the ball just...
I like how he's showing how he does it a little bit differently than everyone else. I can kind of equate this to, like, I was a really good shooter back when I used to shoot a lot, and I do it way different than everyone else. I actually shoot left-handed rather than right-handed, but I'm right-handed on pretty much everything else, and everyone was always so confused, and I was like, it's just more comfortable for me doing it that way. So I can appreciate that.
For me, and they're very loose. It's 2 fingers down, 2 fingers up, and the ball just slots in there like that, and the thumb just rests there.
A lot of people talk about how high your arms should be. We've heard people say you shouldn't be above the perpendicular and you shouldn't be too low when you release the ball.
Yeah, I think somewhere that you've got too high and you've got too low. I think somewhere in between there is about where mine sometimes gets a little bit too low, but most of the time it's around that sort of area. I'm not sure what sort of degrees that is, but that I think enables me to get maximum spin from my deliveries, and also my variations. Generally my wrong and my arm will be a little bit higher, but generally my leg break will be working about that sort of angle.
Huh.
So I've got my run up, I'm here, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Now I start to build it up. As I get closer to the wicket here, I start to build it up, and then I bowl. Pretty good cherry, just quietly too.
and when you reach the crease, you talk about this explosion at the crease. This is the energy at the crease, isn't it? And where do you propel it? Towards the batsman?
Well,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of guys that run up really, really fast. I can't remember too much if Shane was a little bit more... Like, some of the guys seem like they're sprinting when they go up to bowl. But, like, Shane, or if I remember, it's like he's saying right here, it's kind of more like he's a little more loose on it.
A little bit different. A lot of people, I know I'm a bit different in some things, but a lot of people, what they think about...
every way there is, mate.
Thanks, Mark. But what a lot of people think about is they think about a spot on the wicket. They think about certain different things. I actually think about what shot I want the batsman to play. Whether I want him to push him back and defend, whether I want to draw him forward to drive, whether I want him to try and sweep, whether I'm trying to push him back on the back foot. So that allows me to bowl exactly where I want rather than focusing in on a spot or anything like that. I think about what I'm trying to get the batsman out. I've got my plan. I'm trying to work to that plan to get them out. So then it's a matter of execution. You have to execute what you're trying to do with your plan, or you have to start again.
Okay, and you
Oh,
talk
that's cool
sometimes
how they did
talk
that.
about bowling up.
Yep. The two things I get, sometimes I do get a bit too round arm. So my key words are think high and spin up, which means if my arm's there and I think high, it just gets it up to about there. It doesn't mean it's up there.
Yeah.
So I think high to get my arm up into that position, and spin up is not to make sure you spin down, but it's actually to spin the ball up. And here in Perth,
That's
you can
to get the ball above.
I can only imagine if I tried this, the ball would go. I don't even know. Probably into the stands.
The batsman's eye level.
Well, it's to get the ball up in there. As a spin bowler, you have to deceive them in flight. No matter what sort of pace you bowl, you still have to deceive them in flight. You're not going to beat people off the pitch too much. You have to get them in the air. You have to get them to second guess what's going on. Right. And you do that in flight.
Try to give us this feeling then of standing tall and spinning up.
Well, the easiest thing is to do, there's a difference when you actually bowl. It's all about when you release the ball too. Sometimes if you try and do it and you're actually trying to spin the ball hard, you generally get to about into this position, then you try and spin it hard, and what happens is you drag it down. So if you're trying to spin it hard, sometimes you open up like that and you drag it down spinning. So you actually want to spin up, for me, means I get myself in that position and I spin the ball up
he
like
overcompensates.
That.
And what role does the follow-through play in all of that?
Crucial.
Okay.
Crucial is the follow-through. There's no point bowling the ball and stopping here. This, with your follow-through and things like that, you've got your momentum with your run-up. When you've actually released the ball, it's just like any other fast bowler, any other bowler. You must make sure you follow through, and that's where your hips and everything else drive. You follow through and you come right through the ball, and everything's at the
Kind of like golf, I would assume, like a golf swing, you know? You want to make sure you follow through all the way.
target. There's no jumping in or angles like that. It's all straight at the target, and the target's the batsman. So you bowl the ball. Once you bowl the ball, you're actually following through, all your weight's going forward. That helps you get that shape and dip and spin and all those nice things.
Let's get on to the four main deliveries you've got, Shane. Firstly, the leg break.
The leg break, basically your wrist is in that position with the back of your hand facing his face, and that's how you bowl your leg break from right to left. That's how it goes. And then from there, you've got different versions of that. You've got more overspin with the leg break, you've got more side spin. They're all the different variations of the same delivery. But that's the basic leg break.
So the back of the hand's pointing at your own face.
To me, yep.
Yeah.
Then if you want to bowl an overspinner, it's basically just go straight over the top like that.
Wild.
And then if you go
Back
to
of
the
hand
wrong
is
end,
nearer the sky, and then the
It's just crazy that the release from like your fingertips and your wrist can completely change the trajectory of the ball.
wrong and the back of the hand's facing the batsman.
facing the batsman.
Okay.
So there are people that can bowl it a wrong and a lot better than what I can, but that's how I bowl mine. A lot of people can bowl them different sorts of ways and different leg breaks, but they're the basic for children trying to bowl leg breaks. If you try and get your wrist in that position for a leg break, that position for a straight one, that position for a wrong un, then hopefully you'll be okay.
How does the flipper work?
The easiest thing with a flipper is to click your fingers, put the ball in there, click your fingers, and try and get the ball to come up, and do exactly the same up here. Click your fingers.
Give us all four. Four balls.
Okay,
all
here's the
varieties.
leg break.
Yeah, I gotta
I'll
see
go
that. I
leg
gotta see what
break,
he's
top
talking
spinner,
about.
Wrong un, then I'll bowl a slider and a flipper.
Okay.
So first of all, you get your leg break, everything the same that we've talked about. Leg break,
Okay, so that's got the back of the hand facing you.
yep. Then the overspinner or top spinner,
Back of the hand heading towards the sky.
Oh,
then the wrong un,
this is so cool. This is so cool. I don't know why I'm so into stuff like this. I love this.
Back of the hand heading towards the sky.
and then the wrong un,
Oh yes, back of the hand facing
Oh, wow.
batsman. Slider.
slider with the seam. I'll do the seam down this way.
You're in good mix. Sliding out the side of the hand.
And now the
then,
flipper to
lastly,
finish
the
with.
flipper.
Which is a great delivery to bowl when it comes out well.
I gotta see a flipper.
Okay. Great to watch those. And
Hold on. Look at that. Holy shit. A wrongun? Wrongun. His hand's completely backwards on that one. Wow.
just to finish, some thoughts for youngsters, because gee, you guys get smacked over the boundary ropes too often for kids to stick with the art sometimes.
A couple of basic things I need. First of all, you need to be best friends just about with a captain, because they're the ones going to try and keep you on. You need to have a lot of love from everybody, because it's hard and it can be embarrassing sometimes. And also you've got to have a bit of courage. No matter what's actually happening, you've got to be able to throw it up, and getting hit for six sometimes can be fun. You don't mightn't like it, but no matter how far it goes, you get a chance to bowl the next ball, whether it's a different ball or whatever, you get a chance to bowl it again. So for the dads watching,
Seems
just
like
make sure
such
you
a
give
good
lots
dude.
of encouragement and try and spin the ball.
Oh man. All right. Well, R.I.P. Shane. God, when did he pass away? He did. I'm pretty sure he passed away. Let me actually double check that because I'm gonna feel really stupid if he didn't. March 4th, 2022. All right, so it's been about 4 years. March 4th. Oh wow, that was yesterday. Dang, holy cow. All right, I'm getting out of here, you guys. That was really, really interesting, and I cannot wait to go to a match. So, all right, I'll see you guys. Have a good day. Bye.